Okay, so let's go ahead and handle print playlist. So I'm going to start with my route. Oops. So this one is a little different from the ones we've done up till now because this one actually gets a parameter in the URL. So let's look really quickly at what happens in the tools pane of Chrome. More tools, developer tools. If you go to the network tab and you hit reload, this is what the request looks like. And you'll notice that it's 404 because it wasn't found. But if you look in header, the request is using something called get method. So request method get. And that means any information that's passed to the backend web server is going to be passed in this request URL here. So specifically, this one includes the server host name or IP address, the port, the protocol is HTTP colon, and then the path on the server from /print playlist. And then any additional parameters are specified after this question mark here as key value pairs. So key and then value, and then this whole thing is URI encoded. So that's get method where you're getting a resource that's specified on the URL. There's a different one called post where you just get up to this for the URL, and then this information here is actually sent in the request body. And the difference is basically what happens if the user tries to bookmark this link. So if you're using get and the user bookmarks this link, these parameters are going to be in the bookmark that gets added to the file. And so you definitely wouldn't want anything that included like a password here, usernames, maybe not. And you probably don't want to have like dynamic content links here. Anything that's going to cause the database to change, you probably don't want to put that in the URL because people can just basically re-access this resource with the specified value. With post, you're just getting the URL, and if they want to send this data along again when they reload the page, it will explicitly ask them if they want to resend it or not. So use post method for things that you don't want to bookmark and use get methods for things that you do want to bookmark. And then we'll see some examples later on of using post. But for this one, it's using get method, and that's all important because the way you get access to that information on this side is through something called the request object. So there's a basically global variable that you can get if you import it called request. And then I'm going to import request here, and then I'm going to put a breakpoint. I'm going to pass and put a breakpoint there. And then I'm going to run this under the debugger, and we're going to look at the request object. So web server started, and then I'm going to reload this page here. And now I'm stopped at the breakpoint. And if I want to look at request, I can just type it in the box right here. So here's the request object, and you get a whole bunch of stuff that represents basically information that the browser has sent to the web server, mostly in the hypertext transfer protocol request header. So HTTP, or hypertext transfer protocol, is a text-based protocol where there's a header that has a bunch of field colon value, and so on. And then all of those headers in the request get added to this request object. So including what kinds of character sets to use, encodings, languages, MIME type, and yada, yada, yada. And then one of the things down here is args. So args is the list of parameters that were included using get. And they get stored in something called an immutable multidict, which as far as the interface goes is just like a regular dictionary. So just like in a regular dictionary, you have a key, which in this case is playlist, and a value, which is Bruce Springsteen, which is the key for that playlist. And now you'll notice that the URL had %20 for the space, but that gets unencoded before it gets put into this args dictionary so that you don't have to further process it or anything. So if I wanted to get the value of the playlist that the user wants to print, I could do that like key is equal to request.args square bracket playlist. And then that would return the value Bruce Springsteen and store it in key. Now, typically what I'd want to do first, though, is I'd want to say if playlist not in request.args, then I would want to write an error. So I'm going to return render template, and I'm going to have an error template. And I'm going to include a message parameter. And the error message is going to be unknown playlist. And actually, this will be the message header. And then I'm also going to have a message body. Or message content, because I've been using content for that. No, message body. Okay. Message body. And then I'm going to use a formatted string here because I actually want to include the name that they tried to... Oh, actually, there was no request. On this one, there was actually no playlist name specified. So this one, I'm going to just say no playlist was specified. Please check the URL and try again. And then I'm going to put that on a different line. And let's put this on a different line as well. So I'm just going to split this across multiple lines here. Okay. All right, so I have a message header and a message body. Let's go ahead and make an error template. And this should be playlist not specified. All right, so let's go ahead and make an error template in the root of our templates folder. And I'm going to start by copying this homepage one. Actually, let's start with the default here. So no, let's start with the homepage one. Before I do that, though, so some of the stuff that I left in the default, so this should just be like default text. Default title, and then default header. And then this content here is just default content. Oops, right up to here. And I'll put a paragraph. And then the footer is actually the footer that I want, though, so I'm going to leave that one. All right, so now if they don't override those, that's what they're going to get. And then for the home page, I'm going to go ahead and copy that and paste that into my error.html. So the title is going to be error exclamation point, and then I misspelled header here, actually, so that's kind of a problem. So let's go and look at our default and make sure that I spelled header right here. Yeah, block header, that's fine. So home page is fine. Let's look at print playlist. Header's fine there. So it was just homepage that I messed up on. So let's fix header in the homepage. And then in default, I'm sorry, in error rather. So header is going to be message header. Okay, so we're putting the message header there. And I'm getting some errors here. Expression expected. Let me close this and reopen it. That sometimes works. Get rid of that pass. Actually, let me stop. Okay, open error again. And then for the content, I'm going to have a paragraph tag and the message content. So we're going to have paragraph message body /p and then the default header. So I'm still not quite sure why it's freaking out about the syntax here. So let's hover over this thing, unresolved reference, expression expected. It does seem to be, it seems, oh, because I got a Python extension on that. I must have created a new Python file instead of a new HTML file. Okay, well, good, all right. So there's my error template, and I will get that if they didn't specify the URL. And then we're going to reuse that almost immediately. So if we got here, we're going to get the key, and then we're going to say playlist is playlist.lookup key, and then if playlist is none, then we're going to render another error message. And then this one is playlist not found. And then this is going to be a formatted string. The playlist name blah was not found. And then what is name? Key. Please check the URL and try again. Okay. So if I get here, I actually have a playlist, and so I can display it. For now, I'm just going to return stir playlist, just to make sure that it works up till now. So let's go ahead and rerun it. And close the debugger, reload. So it did find the playlist, and here's the string method for it, which is ugly, but it's a start. But now if I give it a bad name, like with an extra E there, should not have gotten an internal server error, so let's fix that. Template not found error.html. Oh, now it's error.html.html. So, okay. Let me try that one more time. Refactor. All right. So now let me rerun it. Okay. So now if I reload, now I get playlist not found, playlist name Bruce Springsteen with an extra E was not found. And there's my error template. And then if I didn't give it a playlist at all, like so, it says playlist not specified. No playlist was specified. Please check the URL and try again. So that's how you can make an error template that inherits from a default template. And now we just need to render the playlist. So I'm going to go ahead. This is going to be under print. It's going to be a new HTML file called print playlist. And then here, I'm going to render template, print playlist.html, and then I'm going to pass in playlist equals playlist. So the playlist variable in the template is going to be the playlist that I looked up and found. So print playlist, I'm going to start with, I guess, this error template here. And then we can just knock ourselves out. So let's see. Well, title is going to be, let's do playlist get name playlist. And then we'll do that for the header as well. And then I'm not going to worry overly much about making this beautiful, but I do have a lot of information that I can use. So I have name, videos, thumbnail, and description. So let's start with name, thumbnail, and description. So we're going to put this in a paragraph. Let's start with the thumbnail at the top. An image tag. Image source equals playlist.thumbnail. Actually, playlist.getThumbnail. And I probably need to define one of those. So let's see if I have one already. Oh, I have it. Good. Okay. So playlist.getThumbnail, and then we're going to do, actually, let's put the name at the, well, we already have the name in the header. And then let's go ahead and put the description in a paragraph tag. And then now we're going to do an H2 videos in this playlist. And then I'm going to have an UL for now. And then a loop for video in playlist. We're going to have an LI. And once again, just for now, I'm just going to do stir video. And then I'll come back to that after I see how I'm doing. And then we're going to close off our N4. And then close off our, we already closed off our content block. So I'm missing the close on my image tag. But let's take a look at this. I kind of want to see where it is right now. Okay, so server error, stir is undefined. Yeah, so it didn't like, you have to go all the way up to my code. There it is. So there's my code. It's actually inside of the playlist. So print playlist.html. It's not going to like this stir here. So let me just return video and see how that goes. Okay. So Bruce Springsteen playlist, there's Bruce. There's a description, videos in the playlist, and these want to be linked to the correct YouTube video with the note after it. So what I'm going to do for the video, and then for the live performances, I want to do something different. So I'm actually going to make, I think, a toHTML method on the video. And then here, I'm going to do toHTML. So just like a toString method, except it's going to be toHTML. And then I have to do one thing special if this thing's actually returning HTML that I want to embed on the web page. There's a security feature that I have to get around to actually make this do what I want. So I'll show you that in a second. So I'm going to go to music video. And the reason I'm putting the toHTML method on music video is because I'm going to want to have a different one for performance video, which also has a location and a performance date. So for music video, do the toHTML, and it's going to return a formatted string. Yeah, return formatted string. It's going to have an anchor. Href is self.url. And then here I'm going to have self. I have title, artist. Yeah, let's do title. That's the most important thing first. Comma, and then artist. Period. And then I don't need to show the URL, but I will show the note. So let's do dash and then self.note. And actually, I don't want all of that in the URL, probably. I just want, let's end the URL here. So the title is clickable, and then artist and note are not part of that. Okay, so that's a reasonable toHTML method for regular music video. And then for, actually, let me take a look. Go back here. So I have two closing anchor tags, so I'm going to get rid of that one. And then here for performance video, I'm also going to define a toHTML method. So let's do that under the stir method, just like the other one. So I'm going to start by calling super.toHTML. And then I'm going to return HTML plus, let's do a space, a performance at, and then self.location. And then I've been saying on, but I really think it should be in, because it's like a year on. Yeah, sometimes it's on and sometimes it's in. Let's just do comma date self.performance date. All right, so it's not beautiful, but it will work. And that will all just go in a paragraph tag already. So let's look at our print playlist here. So it's already in a list item, so it doesn't need a paragraph tag. Let's see how it looks, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so as I mentioned, for security, to avoid injection attacks of HTML, if you try to embed HTML inside of a template using the curly brackets, what you get is the raw URL. If you want it to actually show up as formatted HTML, what you need to do is add a special flag here that says safe. So that flag safe says, treat this just like HTML if it's embedded in there. And then, great. So now this is clickable. So this is the original version. And then this is written a performance at. So this needs to be formatted string. So let me go back here. Actually in performance video. Yeah, that's a formatted string. Great. Okay. A performance at Houston. Doesn't work either. Performance in Houston. Yeah, I'm going to use in for that. Or just do location : date : I'm tired of fighting prepositions. No, I'll say in. I'll do that here too. Okay, a performance in Houston, date 1978. And then I'll definitely want to have a period after the note here, and then remember not to put a period in the note when I add new videos. Yeah, so that's going to be in the music video, self.note period here. Okay, and then one other thing I want to do, and then I'm going to call it quits on this, is in my main menu here, so I have print videos. What I'm actually going to do is call print playlist and pass in all videos. So that's the name of my all videos topic. So I'm going to go, oh, and I want to have a link to the home page here in the footer or up at the top. I'm going to put it in the footer. So that's one of the advantages of having templates, is that I can just change this default here. So let's go ahead and do anchor href equals / and then music box home page. Just do music box. All right, let's try that. And that should show up on all my pages now. Great, so here's my link to the home page. And then if I click that, oh, it's playlist equals all videos. And I think that's it. So let's go ahead and try it. So music box, list of all videos. There we go.